Hello traders, time for a daily recap. Today is July 2nd, opening day for July. Had a killer first half of the year, so I was kind of playing it safe today. A little disappointed in the way my morning started out. I had some Netflix long looking for the gap up in the morning. This thing likes to gap up most days, but we didn't. We lost a little bit, so I started putting some orders out. And I was able to get out 391 and then just under 390. So I started off in the red. I took a loss on that. I actually had some calls too that I was able to get out of almost flat. I couldn't get out of them quick enough at the open. And the way this thing washed right here, I was trying to get my it was just a technical difficulty morning. So I was trying to get my charts up for my other platform. I was trying to get some people in the chat room. Anyway, so I was kind of lucky on the calls. I wasn't able to get out of them right away at the open. I waited till we bounced and I got out almost flat on those calls. Not quite. I still took a loss, so I started off in the hole this morning. Pretty disappointed. I was crushed here, man. This is one of my favorite setups. This big washout falling into a nice round number of 380. I had it loaded and everything. It bounced off of 380 and it was all the way back to like 383 by the time I was like ready to pull the trigger on my long, and it was just a little bit higher than I wanted to. I like to catch them into the panic market order as it's fallen. As soon as I start seeing some prints under 382, I would have hit market buy, and I get some really good fills when you buy into that panic. But I didn't, and it was already on the way back up, and I was kind of afraid to hit it there because I have it, buying into strength market orders. 9 out of 10 times I get crap fills. So anyway, I just passed on it. Instead, I waited for the test of 390 here to get short. I got some in here, and I covered most of it here, so I was able to get a nice gain here, almost back to break even at this point. And then I was able to catch a little bit short up here again, and I caught the rest of this move back down here, and that put me in the green. I just couldn't get long. I was so disappointed that I missed this. I should have been long here and working a core all day, but I didn't. I ended up getting all out of my short here, and I just didn't touch it, and I should have been in it long, but I was kind of watching some other stuff. So let's take a look at what I did do on Amazon. So Amazon, I also had some calls overnight, and I got out early on these for a little bit of a loss. So that was in my head too, because they weren't quite back up where I got into them at. So I took a little bit of a loss on these too, but I waited for this 1700 test, and I got some puts. I got a nice win on this, and actually this is the way it was holding up right here. I covered most of my puts here, and then I had a little piece left over, and as it bounced here, I got out the last of those, and then I grabbed some calls, and so I had a nice win on this. And the calls on this are just incredible. So this ended up being a nice fat win. Here's another one that was really nice. It's Tesla. And I didn't even get involved until it broke 345 before I got involved. So I was watching it here as it fell into this, and I was considering possibly taking the bounce long, and it couldn't even bounce back up here, so I got short. So this is one of my favorite setups in this wash, but I mean, we couldn't even recover this one candle, this one 5-minute candle. So it felt like more downside to me. It was really heavy in this 5-minute candle. So I bought some puts right here. So not even getting involved, and I still captured $10 of this move. These puts were huge. Nice fat payday right here. Put me well up into the green. And I didn't even mess with it here. I just covered them all up, sold all my puts, and just walked away with a nice fat gain on that one. Real happy with that one. What else? And then Netflix at the end of the day, I did finally come back in and grab some of this long. And this was one of those head trip days for me on this one. I was really disappointed in myself that I missed this. I was about 10-15 seconds too late, and I just didn't have this. One of my favorite setups. I'll get size on this. I'll go all in, load the boat on these kind of trades right here. It's my absolute favorite setup in the world here. So I was really crushed. So starting off red, down on my calls from Amazon, down on my calls from Netflix, down on for my overnight long. I was already kind of had all that red in my head. And so being about 15 seconds late here, I could not get a piece of this long. And right here was a nice Q, the under over this 388. It came back and tested, couldn't even break 388 again. That's another Q, great signal right here for a long. It came back and tested right here, still didn't. And if that wasn't enough, I should have been long here. So by the time it did all this right here, I was really frustrated with myself not catching anything long on this at all. So what I did is I did wait for this to break and then pull back from this 395 into here. Right here again, I had an order sitting out, missed it by 16 cents, and that started climbing back up again. It's just how my day was on this ticker, man. 16 freaking cents. But I did end up go ahead and mark it in, and I got a little starter here, and then I added to it. So I've got some long overnight. I'm holding this. I didn't sell any of this yet. I was able to get my loss back on the short here. So I was already green, just slightly green on the Netflix. Let's see, what did I do with the puts? I got some puts too. That's what it was. So it's pretty decent green on Netflix. I got some puts in here too. I'll have to look back through that, but I played the puts right along with this. I got some puts and adds in here, and I covered up, and then I had my last little piece that got stopped out in here, and I just didn't even mess with it. I just got stopped out. Once it was slightly in the money, around $6 on the 390 puts, I got stopped out just over my average, and I think I had like a 575 average. So I had a small win on the puts, a decent win on the puts here, and then that last piece of my puts, I cut it. I put a stop in place where it was in the money, so I wasn't going to let it go against me. So what started out as a pretty fat red day turned into a really nice healthy win. I thought I had lost my win streak. I've got like 40 days straight green, so managed to pull that one out between Tesla and Amazon's bounce. So I have some Amazon calls overnight, and I have Netflix stock overnight. So we'll see what happens, see if this can continue tomorrow. These calls are just unreal, what these things pay. I like getting these in the money calls. Amazon and Google both, the way they move is just incredible. So we'll see what happens in the morning. You guys have a good one. Peace.